Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to do a barrel swap on an EDgun Leshiy. We're going to do a caliber change. I'm going to show you how to do the caliber change, but more importantly, I'm going to show you how to determine which end is the breech and which end is the muzzle. It's come to my attention that a lot of you are kind of confused about how to tell which one is which. So I'm going to show you two methods that you can use to determine where the muzzle and the breech is. It's really important that you orientate the barrel correctly for optimum accuracy. So the tools you're going to need today is going to be a 4mm hex wrench. You can use one of these kind or just a regular hex wrench. Please use a good quality one though. A razor blade or something flat like a credit card. A little hook tool, or you can even use a small hex wrench if you have one to pull the moderator out. And of course, your new factory barrel. So step one is going to be to pull the end cap off. And I will warn you that if this has come directly from the factory, Ed's guys must be giants, because I can tell you it's about as tight as a human can put something on. So if it is, just be patient, use two hands, put the gun between your legs, make sure it's safe of course, and use your hands to pull it off. Don't use a tool because you might scratch the end cap. But I promise you they are tight, but you can get them off. You're just going to have to use some elbow grease. Okay, so you get the moderator out. Put your O-ring to the side and your end cap. Now the next step is going to be to loosen with your hex wrench just a couple turns here on your barrel tensioner. Now a lot of times the barrels are in here pretty tight, so you can sometimes push them out a little bit with your hand, but if you can't, you're going to have to use the other barrel. And at this point, I'm going to stop and I'm going to show you how to orientate the barrel correctly for the Leshiy. So you take your new barrel and you're looking at it and you say, yeah, I can't tell which end is which. Is that the muzzle or is that the breech? And it's pretty simple. Once I show you how to do it, I think you will understand. So EDgun Leshiy barrels have a minor little crown here. There's a slight choke on the muzzle end, and there's not a choke on the breech end. So method one is to take a flashlight, shine it, and if you guys can see that shiny section right there, what you usually do is just turn it to the side. And if you see that shiny section right there, that's where the rifling has been cut out to put in a lead. So that is the breech end. If we flip it around and we take a look, if you look real closely, you can see there's a slight little bevel at the end. That's called the crown. And the teeth, or the lands and grooves, come right to the end of the crown and they meet the crown. You can actually see the rifling all the way through the end of the barrel. That's the muzzle. So remember, the breech has got a nice little shiny section that's missing the rifling. That's called the lead. That's been cut out. And the muzzle has a slight little bevel at the end. And it's easier to tell with a flashlight. You can see the shiny part of the bevel. And inside the bevel, you'll see where the lands and grooves meet the crown. And that's going to be the muzzle. Okay, so that's method one. Simple. Method two is you take your pellet. And remember, I told you that the muzzle end is slightly choked and the breech is not. So you take your caliber appropriate pellet, obviously. And you're just going to use it to measure it. And you're going to put the head of the pellet in there. And as you can see, without any force at all, the head of the pellet almost entirely disappears. This is the breech end. If I flip it around and put this into the crown, you can see that the dome part of the pellet doesn't quite cover it. That's the muzzle end. So again, I'll show you the breech. You can see how the pellet almost completely disappears there. The muzzle, whoops. You can see that just before the head ends, it doesn't quite go in very much. Right there. Breech disappears. All right. Hopefully that clears things up. So obviously we're going to take our breech end and we are going to slide this through. pull out of their barrel, put it safely. Now, I have seen pictures of guys that have left this a little bit proud to the breech face here. So in order to make sure that it's completely flat, I like to take a little tool, like you can either use a credit card or a razor blade, like I just did, and you can line it up and make sure that it's completely flush. The reason why this is important is we want this O-ring to completely seal around the barrel. This will give us the most consistent shot strength possible, as there won't be any air leakage, and it won't prematurely wear out your O-ring if this is sitting too proud. So once we have put in our barrel, and we're just going to tighten these down. And I once famously asked Ed, "Hey, what's the how much should I tighten it down?" And he said, "What are you talking about? Just make it tight. It's an EDgun." And that's really all you do have to do. No special tools required. Then you're just going to put your moderator back in, line it up. It'll index properly. O-ring. And end cap. Be patient with the end cap. The threads are a little bit thin there. All right. Now, of course, you can tune your gun to whatever you want to do for the new caliber, and it's pretty much as simple as that. Hope that answers some questions. If you obviously have any more questions, you can reach me at brian@edgunwest.com, or you can go to my website and find more information about the EDgun Leshiy. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next video.